Before Colonel Assimi Goita, before General Abdurrahman Chiani, before Captain Ibrahim Traore, there was Thomas Isidore Sankara, the dread of France, the bane of the British, arch nemesis of America. But why exactly was Sankara so dangerous to these three titans? Why were the neo-colonial forces of France, Britain and America so afraid of him, they just had to take him out? Buckle up, you won't believe this. December 1949. Thomas Sankara, an unlikely African hero, is born into status and privilege. His father is a gendarme, a military force hand-picked from the people of Upper Volta to keep the natives under control, under the French. France has no idea yet, but this will make Sankara dangerous, because Sankara has been born to insiders, a family that knows all the tricks of Western imperialism. 1966. Sankara gets more dangerous. At 17, he rejects his sheltered upbringing and joins the army. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Know thyself and know thine enemy. Were better to master both than the military. But Sankara is no ordinary soldier. Sankara is a thinking soldier. Red flag number 3 for the imperialists. 1970. Sankara is stationed in Madagascar, barely 20 years of age. He watches a people dissatisfied with France and other Western powers rise up against their white overlords. Madagascar is supposed to be independent from France, officially, but off the record, France's spies and controllers are everywhere. Madagascar is a puppet regime. Not for long, Malagasys rise. France's puppet government crumbles. Sankara is taking notes. 1974. Sankara becomes a war hero. He's now back home fighting in a border war between Upper Volta and Mali, when he becomes an overnight celebrity for his bravery and strategic thinking facing off opposition forces. Remember the name: Thomas Isidore Sankara. 1981. Strongman Saye Zerbo is president of Upper Volta. He's been watching Sankara, and Sankara knows it. Zerbo gets comfortable and makes a move Paris, London and Washington will regret. He makes Captain Sankara Minister for Information. Sankara is 31, and he's playing his cards perfectly. But he makes a strange government minister. While others are riding into work in Mercedes convoys, he bicycles in. Ignored as an eccentric, Sankara seems harmless enough. Not to those closest to him, people like Blaise Compaoré, Sankara's best friend. Compaoré knows just how talented, how dangerous Sankara really is. Because back in 1976, the two friends had sworn an oath of secrecy as part of a clandestine group of officers called the Communist Officers Group. COG to us. But now it's 1982. Sankara is in danger. He's clashing with the head honcho, the CIA's main man in Upper Volta, President Zerbo. Why? Sankara has showed his hand way too early. Malheur à ceux qui bâillent le peuple, he declares, warning Zerbo before he's fired from his cabinet. In English, misfortune to those who gag the people. That is not a threat, it's a curse. Later that year, Saye Zerbo is ousted by Major Jean-Baptiste Ouédraogo. Ouédraogo proves a wiser man than Zerbo. He wants no trouble with Sankara, so he makes him an offer he cannot refuse. Ouédraogo makes Sankara Prime Minister. Does Sankara lay low in the new government? No, the opposite. As Prime Minister, he embarks on a tour of Africa, forming alliances, building bridges. At this point, the CIA and French intelligence start noticing Sankara. Why? He's meeting with leaders like this: Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, among other worrying figures that threaten the West's controlling stake in Africa. These are friends the powers that be disapprove of. 1983. Sankara invites Gaddafi to Upper Volta. For French intelligence, MI6 and the CIA, this is the last straw. Guy Martin, Ideology and Praxis, 1987. Colonel Urian Somé met the French president's special advisor on Africa, Guy Pen, who flew into Ouagadougou on 15th of May. Following this meeting in the French ambassador's residence, it was decided that Captain Sankara should be arrested, along with other supporters. Indeed, Captain Sankara and most of his key supporters were rounded up. But Sankara has an ace in the hole: Blaise Compaoré. Evading arrest, Compaoré and COG go for broke. Rallying soldiers at a crucial military base in Po City, Compaoré demands Sankara's release, threatening to march on the capital. Perhaps a bluff. It doesn't matter. The bluff pays off. President Ouédraogo is a fox caught in a snare, but a wise fox nevertheless. He surrenders to Compaoré. Colonel Urian Somé is not so wise. Ever the loyal traitor, he does the bidding of his French masters to the bitter end and is killed by the revolutionaries. On the 4th of August 1983, Tomas Sankara became president of Upper Volta. 1984. Sankara gives an African nation an African name. Upper Volta is no more. Enter Burkina Faso. In English, Land of the Upright. Orwellian newspeak? No. Much like Ibrahim Traoré today, Sankara was ridding the country of years of colonial degradation. The revolution of 1983 was like none other seen in Africa at that time. Sankara did not want power for power's sake. He wanted only three things: liberté, sérénité, prospérité for Burkina Faso. Thomas Sankara, quote, "The salvation of our peoples and our development require a total break with the worn-out models which all kind of quacks have tried to force on us during the last 20 years. But it's the 1980s, and America is prowling. Reagan is talking tough, hoping to paint Sankara as a communist, a tool of the Russian state. Sound familiar? Like Traoré today, Sankara was wise to it." Quote, "Nowhere do we aim to build socialism in Burkina today. We are building a democratic, modern society according to its economic content. Our revolution is a bourgeois revolution. It does not aim at the elimination of private property or private economic initiative and entrepreneurship." This bourgeois revolution worked. P.D. Lawton, AfricanAgenda.net. Quote, "Sankara transformed the world's poorest country at that time into a self-sufficient, modern, thinking nation." Close quote. Sankara creates infrastructure building projects, recruiting by mandate every able-bodied male in Burkina Faso. Sankara's administration begins mass building and rehousing projects, eradicating slums overnight. Factories are built, supporting mass construction projects and stimulating the economy. In just 4 years, there was no major region of Burkina Faso not connected by a network of roads and rail. Before environmentalism was in vogue, or regreening the Sahara was a thing the UN supposedly invented, Sankara commissioned a grove planting project in every village across the country. Tens of millions of trees are planted in under 4 years to halt the voracious Sahara. Sankara got his hands dirty with the rest of the country, planting hundreds of trees himself. Foreshadowing the resurgence under Traoré today, wheat production more than doubles from 1,700 kilograms of wheat per hectare to 3,900 kilograms per hectare in 1986. Sankara builds a nation-spanning railroad 100 kilometers long in just 2 years, increases literacy in rural areas, diverts government funds towards universal healthcare. And still, Sankara goes further. He sells off the government's fleet of Mercedes and makes the humble Renault 5 the state's official car. He also slashes the wages of his top officials. But first, he leads by example, paying himself a mere $450 a month. No Swiss bank accounts. He forbids the use of government chauffeurs and first-class airline tickets by government officials. And finally, he says no to foreign aid. He who feeds you controls you. Tomas Sankara. Is the world happy for the little West African nation punching above its weight? No, says Paris. No, thank you, says London. And Washington? Hell nah. Sankara's economic miracle is fueled by something all three despise. He's nationalizing the country's resources, taking them out of the control of Western corporations and putting them in the hands of the people of Burkina Faso, meaning Sankara doesn't need to borrow from the IMF, the World Bank, or the Bank of International Settlements. Burkina Faso's Foreign Minister, Basil Guissou. We don't want anything from anyone. No one will come to develop Burkina Faso in place of its own people. Sankara is going too far. 1985. Blaise Compaoré has just tied the knot. The lucky lady, Heiress Chantal Terrassin de Fougère. And voila, the French have a way in. This is the beginning of the end of the Sankara-Compaoré powerhouse coalition. Compaoré has married up, tying the knot with a high-class French Ivorian woman. And she is insatiable. Not for that. For this. Argent. Money. Compaoré's new wife has a taste for all things lavish and expensive. Sankara's frugality just won't do. According to Dr. Valère Sommet, former Minister of Higher Education in Burkina Faso, Chantal Compaoré clashed with Sankara constantly. Things get heated when Chantal calls the captain a pretend revolutionary at a dinner party. Why? Sankara refuses her champagne. Why? Because Burkina Faso is still one of the world's poorest countries by most global indexes. In building a better country for Africans, Sankara would not compromise, and he expects everyone around him to be on code. Evidently, some are not. Through a disgruntled Chantal, the French get to Compaoré, who believes good things should come to those who serve in the highest offices, even at the expense of the people. Sankara did not. Compaoré turned. July 29, 1987. Thomas Sankara visits the annual summit for the Organization of African Unity, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The topic is African debt. Sankara takes the stage and says something utterly incredible, something so shocking it shakes Africa and the world. Those who lend us money are those who colonized us. They are the same ones who used to manage our states and economies. These are the colonizers who indebted Africa. We have no connections with this debt. Therefore, we cannot pay for it. We cannot pay because we are not responsible for this debt. Sankara went on. Under its current form, controlled and dominated by imperialism, debt is a skillfully managed reconquest of Africa, intended to subjugate its growth and development through foreign rules. Thus, each one of us becomes the financial slave, which is to say, a true slave. Debt is neo-colonialism, in which colonizers have transformed themselves into technical assistants. We should rather say technical assassins. The audience clapped and cheered, and then Sankara said this: if Burkina Faso stands alone in refusing to pay, I will not be here for the next conference. An awkward silence spreads as it dawns on the audience. Sankara is serious. Likewise, Sankara realizes Burkina Faso would stand alone. 3 months on from this speech, Thomas Sankara became both a prophet and a martyr when he was executed by his own soldiers on the orders of Blaise Compaoré. The French screamed, "Sacre bleu!" America asked, "And Thomas who?" And the British said, "More tea, please." 1987. Compaoré is king, cementing himself as the undisputed strongman of Burkina Faso for the next 27 years. In this time, Compaoré is welcomed by the international community with open arms. He takes IMF loan after IMF loan. Burkina Faso is open for business again. Peace stopped by Western corporations as gold and diamond mining firms from Canada, France and America pick over the country's carcass. But times, they are a-changing. September 2022. Enter Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Enter the ghost of Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara's rise and fall is like a high-speed chase where you wish just this once the cops won't get their man. It is a brilliant race to watch. Dust is spewing up in a million directions, tires screeching, the engines roaring. You love to see it, but you know it can't last. You know sooner or later the lone rider, a Robin Hood of sorts, a champion of the people, will be caught, and all the action in between will have just been part of one great tragedy. But what do you think, Drill Nation? Is Captain Ibrahim Traoré destined to repeat the tragedy of Captain Sankara? Or can AES member states do things differently this time? If so, what? Comment below please, and if you haven't yet hit like or subscribe, what are you waiting for? More amazing exposés like this one are coming. Special thanks to our members who help to make these videos possible, especially Major General Kerite Carr and Brigadier General Coming to Africa. We also salute the honorable members of the People's High Council of Sages. Admiral Andujar Payne, Chief of Naval Operations Dante Crane, Generalissimo Kepa Ra Senostret III, and Commander-in-Chief Black Rampage 2. Join them by hitting the join button below. We salute you, scholars, soldiers and sages of the Trill Nation. Till next time, from Kush to Compton, this has been Trill Black, no doubt.